Hello, welcome to McBoss Capital. My name is Michael Chu. Today we just want to give you an update whether the market is showing any signs of bottoming out. Before we go on, just let you know all materials shown here are for informational purpose only. They are not investment recommendations and I'm not a registered investment professional. As usual, we want to focus on sharpening our skills. Right now, we need to know when to buy, whether the general market has any direction, what are the leading stocks, an industry group maybe that could lead the market if we were to go back into an uptrend, at least in the near term. Today's agenda is we're going to talk about the market indices like Nasdaq, Russell 2000, S&P 500. Are there any sign of possible bottom? Most analysts want to see capitulation, especially in the wicks. And Larry Williams he has some thoughts about that possible market bottom, so we'll talk about that. And some of the leading stocks, including AR, CELH, ESTE, ZIM, EQT, EA, and CTRA that we're going to talk about as well. So right now, this video is as of May 23rd at 10:48 Mountain Time, which is around past noon Eastern Time. So the market is rallying today. So again, this is Monday here, and May 23rd. And what happened in the last about 8-9 sessions is we saw a low right here, right? And then we had this rally that went up, but then it fell really hard on the day. We found that Target and Walmart has disappointing news, and those stocks really tanked. And then on Thursday, what happened is that I was under the impression that after that, because this Wednesday was a 5%, like close to a 5% drop here, and that's a significant drop after a rally, right? And then Thursday I was thinking, oh, maybe it's gonna break to a new low. It didn't, so it's trying to hold up near that level, near the previous day's close. And notice that also coincide with the previous close here. There's 2 days close right there. Here's another 2 days here. And then by Friday, last Friday, we did have a break. And so you see now this has undercut this low right here. So, but what happened was that in the last half an hour of trading, we saw lots of buying that pushed the index to close again at this level. This seems to become a level of support with at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sessions closing at this level. So that's a sign that maybe either the sellers are done or there's some buyers coming in to hold at this level. So either way, it's a good sign. So today, Monday, we do expect it to bounce, because it has tested a new low and it has tested this close, and now we are bouncing. So the next thing to look for is whether we can surpass this 10-day moving average. So last time, this green line here has been, and including the pink line, which is 21-day, they both act as resistance at some point in this last downtrend. So we really need to see those two. If this rally were to have any, if this becomes a rally and it's going to have any leg, it will have to break through these two lines and going up here. And it may not be easy, but it is possible. It's just a matter of how it's going to happen and how fast it will happen. And if it doesn't, then we do expect it to come back down, right? Like it might go up here or here, even as far as here, and then go back down again and have another leg down. So those are things to be aware of. We're just going to take a quick look at S&P as well. Very similar. You can see a rally here and then came back down, hit a new low, and now we at the as of this time, we are seeing the indexes coming back to this green line. So today it will most likely close near this green line if the rally hold, and then tomorrow we want to see whether it will go to the pink line, which is around this level, and then we want to see if it will continue to move up. Now again, we don't know how this will happen, whether it will happen this fast or not, but those are things to pay attention to. The last index I want to look at is Russell. Now you will notice this on Friday. This is only showing as of Friday. It didn't show today's action yet. But on Friday, you can see it didn't close at a new low compared to here. So there's some sign that the small cap index are doing better than the large caps, like Nasdaq or S&P. So this is an interesting signal because Russell tend to um, have Russell 2000 has been actually leading all the major index now since early November, and now that it is acting strong relatively compared to the other major indexes, this could mean something. Now again, uh, we'll have to see the same pattern. We'll have to go through surpassing the green line here, the 21-day, 10-day, and then if they do, it will go to the 50-day for the next big test, right? So there's at least, again, lots of tests here, and you know, we'll see whether this rally holds. But at least this is a good sign that perhaps something has changed in the trend, for at least for the near term. I just wanted to bring this interesting article that was talked about on CNBC by Jim Cramer about Larry Williams. He see a potential market bottom in the making. And one of the signal he pays attention to is the advanced decline line. And for a while, the advanced decline line actually has been dropping as the index dropped. And what happened in the last, 1.5 week or so, what we saw is, the advanced decline line make a new low as the index also make a new low. And we saw this rally, this 4-day rally here. And it climbs up as expected. So advanced decline line measure how many stocks are advancing and declining on that particular day. And as you can see, we had that big down day, and it did drop. And then it as this day here makes a close, I think either a new low or close to a low, this actually went up advanced decline line. So again, there is some sort of divergence, is what he's trying to point out, that perhaps the selling is done. So this is just a sign that he's seeing. He's also seeing similar action in based on the volume. So selling volume has also dry up. So as the indexes make new low, S&P it didn't continue to make a new low. You can see here based on the volume. Here's another one regarding professionals buying and selling pressure. Again, here we see there's not much selling by here. Yeah, again, once again, here's the selling pressure here. It didn't make, newer low. But at the same time, the professional buyers are actually been buying since, starting in May. So again, very interesting divergent signal on the professional buying and selling. Here's a cycle that he follows. It's a 75-day cycle, and you can see based on this 75-day cycle, the market he believes is ready to act on the upside, and so we saw that action in March where it went up. We had a 16-day rally or whatever. Here we may have another rally. So again, a short-term type of analysis here that could happen. I'm going to look at some stocks right now. We have Antero Resource Group Corp in the U.S. exploration and production for oil and gas. Here we see this kind of choppiness here after this market kind of had a good run, and now we're starting to see a potential move again. It's not certain that this move will break out, but we are very close today. So it may have some action here. So again, these stocks that I'm showing you have great earnings and also strong forecast going forward. So something to pay attention to. So that was oil and gas related. This one is in the beverage, in the non-alcoholic, in the calorie burning fitness beverages. This one has suffered a big correction, and now we see a really strong relative strength moving upward, and you can see that as it continue to make new high as it move forward. Of course, it does this alternate drop every second day, but each day it seems to come back very fast. So that's also a good sign. Today it hasn't made a new high yet, but at least it's a nice uptrend and the relative strength moving upward. Next one we have Earthstone Energy in the oil and gas. Again, this one is in the U.S. exploration production. So we have this base right here. It tried to break out, quite a few weeks ago or a month ago. It didn't happen. It fell back down very fast, and then it's just been choppy since, right? But now we again, you can see these stocks are acting similar to the index, right? Like, they're showing relative strength really strong because the index, make a new low here and a new low here, but the stock didn't make a new low. So that's why the relative strength are moving upward really fast. And today you can see it continue to make progress and make new high, at least in the recent weeks. ZIM integrated shipping services in the transportation shipment. We see this correction here, very fast correction. Now we starting to see this uptrend, and again, this stock is showing strong relative strength way before the index even make the low. About on May 12th or whatever the low here. So again, continue to make new higher lows, and that's a really good sign. And again, today it break out to new high, as you can see here. So important, very strong stock. EQT in the oil and gas again, integrated. You can see again triple-digit earnings here, growth. Today it's trying to make a breakout based on this trend line here, short-term trend line. It's a really strong stock, as you can see, a really strong up run, and then it make this pull back to this 50-day exactly to the dot here, and now it's moving up again, right? So something to pay attention to. It did break out to higher high here in recent days. Again, if we follow the market trend, it's making higher lows, and that's why the relative strength is very strong right now. Electronic arts, this stock is interesting because it's not in the oil and gas, it's in the tech gaming area, and you can see this kind of trend line broken, early aggressive trend buy point here. And what we also seeing is this relative strength line going up, and basically this stock has been on a tear, and today there was news that they were seeking for some sort of merger or buyout. So now now it's more apparent why this stock has been moving up. So not sure how far this will go, but at least it is on a very strong uptrend. You can see how many blue days in the last 8 or 9 sessions. The last one that I want to show you is CTRA Energy. Again, another oil and gas. Oil and gas, obviously, we know that the especially in the oil area, is they both oil and gas have been really high priced. This is um, and now you can see this uptrend, but obviously this one is very choppy, so it's definitely harder to hold on to if you use stop loss and stuff to manage your risk, but depending where you buy it at. So but it is staying very nicely above this 10-day moving average right here. So again, we see this new low, this low here that is higher low than previous low, and again in recent days it also make higher lows. So that's why you see this really strong relative strength line. It actually started a long time ago. So but you do have to give room for this stock to move, as it is quite volatile. So something to watch. So my final thoughts are, first, you can go to makebosscapital.com and find the latest article that we write on a weekly basis. And this one is dated as of Friday. The the rally that started over a week ago kind of was undercut by a new low, and that makes intra and also S&P make an intraday bear market, which is over 20% correction. So that here you go, here's the number, and so but it did close above it as I mentioned earlier. Um, that is a good sign in terms of at least in the short term. Are we going to see a tradable rally here for the next 6 weeks? It is possible, especially given all the signs that that maybe the selling is exhausted at least in the near term. But if there's any new macro news that come out that affect in the macro in the economy, things could change very quickly. So just something to pay attention to in coming weeks. Just one last thing I just want to look at is there's a lot of analysts that are very bearish right now, and even the sentiment in retail investors are really fearful, really high. And one thing analysts keep pointing out is they want to see a capitulation, which I'm not sure if it will happen, just because at least in the near term, just because so many people are looking for it, and and because there's so much fear, so there's also lots of people just either they're done selling or they're just not doing anything. And right now you can see today is at around 30. But a lot of analysts are looking for like even higher than like around the 40 level. So in order for that to happen, you can see it's a very far fetched from there. And the last time we had it happen was during pandemic time. So from my point of view, I only can see this happening if there's clear signs of recession this year. And so we are, like I said, S&P has corrected near 30 to 20%. Typical, consider a bear market. And because there's really no proof that we're entering recession yet this year, despite the high inflation, it's hard to say that the market will sell off, in the near term, just because we haven't had proof. Now, if we're starting to see proof that earnings guidance are starting to come down really fast, that could happen, and that could send the market a signal that yeah, we're going to see this spike in volume in the wicks. And again, a lot of people are looking for this, but I'm not sure if it'll happen if there's no recession this year. So it could happen, like I say, in 2 months from now, or even in September or October or November. Like we still have long time away to the end of the year. Uh, so right now, but I do believe that right now, from a technical perspective, not looking at any fundamentals, it is possible that we will have a tradable rally, and at least in the nearest term, just like some of the market technicians like Larry Williams have mentioned. So we'll see what will come out in the next 6 weeks, but it'll be really interesting. And also, coming back to the index, just one last thing. I think they had the longest weekly losing streak since like 1920s or something. That is really a bearish how do you say bearish signal. And I would think that it was all over the media, and also that people are really fearful after this 8 week drop. And and the other thing I do notice is the last two Fridays, including from the last 2 weeks, they actually close in the green. So that's an interesting change in behavior as well, because maybe not Nasdaq, but I think S&P did. So if we go S&P, yeah. So this day here is on the Friday right here, and then the last week was right here on the Friday as well. So that's 2 Fridays in a row that actually closed green. Doesn't mean much, but it is a sentiment that perhaps people tend to get fearful. They don't want to hold through the weekend, and but somehow there's buyers coming in during those days. Both Fridays now that did buy into the close. So that's a really interesting change in behavior as well. So again, all these are technical signs. Doesn't mean the market has bottomed, because it's still going to be affected by the macro stuff, the economy stuff, the Fed, how they deal with the inflation moving forward. But if we're just strictly looking at technicals, there is some sign that it may have bottomed in the in the short term. Now, but if it does, if we do have a tradable rally, look for this 50-day line that it will bounce to before potentially testing again whether it will become a new uptrend or downtrend here. So thank you for watching this video. If you like it, please click subscribe to this video. Give us a thumbs up. You can check out our growth stock chart on our website here, growthstock.website.net. You can also check out our website at mcbosscapital.com. This YouTube channel, you can subscribe here, and you can contact us for any educational purpose type of things. Contact us there at this email, support@mcbosscapital.com. Thank you.